this award yet. You haven't been to the award yet, if you haven't traveled yet, you want to be on the board, you want to travel, you want to be able to be competing, show it. Show it. Make it impossible for me to not take you with us. Does that make sense? Make it impossible for me to come up with an excuse to say, you know what, that kid's home. He should absolutely be going with us. Or he should absolutely be competing for us in blah, 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 blah. And do it with your effort, with your intensity, your passion, your focus, all of the above. Now,
since its birth in 2011, the St. Benedict's crew team, led by head coach and alumnus Craig White, has grown exponentially. From 9 students to about 60, the program has built a strong foundation and culture, which is what has kept it not only surviving, but thriving. The objective of the program is to not only turn boys into better athletes, but better people. Here are some testimonies from participants of this special team.
My name is Reese. My grade, I'm a junior.
Alright, Reese. So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. So how long have you been on the crew team?
3 years now.
Since freshman year?
Yep.
So over this time, tell me a little bit about what this crew team means to you.
Guess like college opportunities. That and also just being like physically in shape. I don't see other teams as physically shaped as a crew team. So, and the things that they do are like that it pushes you a lot more than other sports.
How do you feel that you've grown personally as a leader this year? Or personally, like, period?
Grown as a leader. Well, I guess since like
Don't think about the leader part too much. Just how do you think you've grown this year as a person?
as a person, I think I've been like become more calm due to like the position of leadership, I guess. And it's like last year or 2 years ago, like if I were to look back at myself, I'd be like more hyperactive and reckless than I am now. But I am still a little bit hyperactive, but still, yeah.
All right, so for my last question, what growth do you think you've seen from your teammates this season?
It's pretty big growth, you know, especially within the sophomore class. You know, them going on to get 2 gold medals so far in the fall. So in our fall season, so that's pretty good, especially from what it was last year, with them not really being able to like compare to like the juniors, but now they're like on the same level or even higher in some aspects. So I think going forward, I think the program's just gonna get even better. Yeah.
Reese, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
No problem.
All right, state your name and your year.
Jonathan Benison, class of 2023.
All right, so tell me a little bit. How long have you been part of the team?
I've been part of the crew team since freshman year.
So tell me a little bit about what this crew team means to you.
It means hard work, dedication, and just a family there to support you every step of the way.
So how do you feel as though you've grown over this year as a leader?
I would say freshman year, I really didn't care about anyone but myself. But being a leader, being a part of this team, it shows that it's just not about myself. It's about those around me who need my help, and vice versa. Those can help me, I can help those too.
So how do you feel how do you feel like, what have you seen from your peers in terms of growth this season so far?
They've pushed me to become better, to believe in myself more, because freshman year, I really didn't think I was fit for the team. I was not as strong or as fit as the others were. I was more of the weaker link, but even though I was putting myself down, my peers were able to help me see that, working hard, being there, dedication, it's helped me to realize that, I can if I do the best I can, it's all that matters.
So, how do you feel? You guys had 2 races. You had a race October 9th in Philadelphia,
Yes.
and you had a race on October 31st in Texas. So, how do you feel about the first 2 races of this season?
First 2 races, well, I can speak more on the race in Texas because it was just a few days ago. It was a whole different environment, a lot of different competing athletes. I feel like even though we didn't do the best we could, we did what we could under the circumstances, and it just showed us that we have a lot more work to do this coming into training, which is why we're all going to be dedicating these days until spring season, so that we become faster, stronger, and be able to beat guys when we're in the spring.
Tell me your name and your year.
William Register, senior.
How long you been rowing?
4 years.
Right. So, you've been part of the crew team since your freshman year.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what this crew team means to you.
I think it's the most special thing to me personally. It's a big portion of my life. It's brought me out from the mud, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd be in a position where I am now without crew. It's let me meet some amazing people, even Olympians, people going to great schools, people doing great things for the community. I think Coach White plays a big factor into that, just the people he introduces us to, and just the people he forces us to be good in the classroom, good athletically, just good people overall.
So you're in a really interesting position this year as a senior group leader. So how do you feel like you've grown as a leader this year?
I think I've grown exponentially. I feel in years past, I sort of just kept everything to myself. Sort of my ideologies and my methods and what I want people to do or how I want people to be and act. I think I sort of kept it to myself. And I think sharing it with other people and pushing other people to be the best people at themselves is something I learned throughout the summer, and I'm trying to figure out how to do now throughout the year. So I think just it sort of gave me a voice in a sense. It gave me an opportunity to speak out and really voice what I think.
So speaking of helping your peers grow, what have you seen from your peers this season? Your teammates, how do you think that your teammates have grown over the course of the season so far?
I think it's just the environment has helped a lot. We've built a really strong, positive environment for everyone. So I think it's good. I see people encouraging each other, which is something I know it sounds simple, but I feel freshman year we weren't really encouraging each other as much as we do now. So I think everyone has room to be the best athlete as possible because of what we're trying to make the team into.
And that's about it, bro. Thank you.
All right. Ask me questions, boss man.
All right, so from the beginning of the year, right? You had the one race that was canceled because you felt like you guys weren't ready yet.
Yep.
So how do you feel about the first 2? Because you guys had a race in Philly, and then you guys had another race in Texas last week. So
Sunday.
So how do you feel about the first 2 races and how the team performed?
I would say that what we're doing programmatically is working. We had the head of the Schuylkill is a really special race because there are teams there from literally all across the country and outside of the country. So what people don't understand with rowing, is that we don't, no offense to the other sports at Benedict's, is that we don't have a league or preps, some lower standard in which we can compete in. So if for the fencing team, if it's fencing, if it's basketball, if it's soccer, those programs can celebrate the fact, even wrestling, swimming, they can celebrate the fact that they won a prep championship or a prep conference, and then be able to celebrate that and be able to come home and everybody rah-rahs, about it. For us, especially in the fall, there is only one league, and that league is everyone. So there are programs like St. Catherine's,
Notre Dame Rowing Club. Those are club programs first and foremost, and on top of that, they're programs from like Ontario and Montreal. And layer that on top of the fact that the kids are competing against teams from Miami and teams from Florida and teams from Texas. So whenever we compete for rowing, we're competing on a national stage every time we go out. So like the stakes are
Higher.
very, very different, and the standard for excellence is much, much higher. So it's been challenging getting the team to that point where, just embracing that reality that like if we're ever going to win something that's going to be celebrated, it's going to be on a national level. First and foremost, it's going to be on a national level. I mean, there are state championships in the spring, but even then, it's all different types of schools. It's not just prep schools. It's public high schools, larger high schools that are pulling from like student bodies that are like 2,000, 3,000 kids strong, as opposed to us pulling from a school of, maybe only 500, 600 boys. But the kids are doing well. They won, they came in first place twice. So that's a strong indicator that we're figuring it out. We're figuring out how to take what we have, and who we have, and then still be able to perform on a national level, which is good. Go home.
Yo, Christopher, come on.
Go home. Just keep walking.
Is there anything new that you've learned as a coach this year?
I would say that another coach who coaches on a much higher level came and visited us and observed a practice. And I would say that one of the most formative things he said to me is that he literally was just like, Craig, what the fuck are you doing? Don't coach them, teach them. And realizing that coaching is teaching, and really coming to understand that there really isn't a difference between the two. Because I would like to believe that I'm a pretty good teacher. I'm a pretty good teacher. That helped me understand that how I was coaching in years past, 4 or 5, 6 years ago, was the wrong way. Because I wasn't approaching the craft of coaching as if I were an educator. Because the reality is that none of our kids know how to row before they get here. So in order to get them to that level, they have to be taught. So that having that type of a mindset and my approach as a program director, that's definitely helped a lot. And informed positive changes in the structure of the program. So it's working.
And for my last question, what drives you to get up and still do this every day after how many years?
12. I would real talk, this is the happiest time of my day. If I could not, it's terrible to say, but it's true. If I could not run this program, I probably wouldn't be a teacher at St. Benedict's. I wake up in the morning to coach. And I teach because I have to put food in my tummy and pay for my own apartment and pay for my car and all that other stuff. I like teaching. I'm good at teaching. I love coaching. And I love coaching because of all the extra things. Because you get to change a kid's life. You get to know families. You get to the magical payment is knowing that you had a hand in helping someone get from point A to point B. Because I have tons of friends who make $100,000, $200,000, $400,000 a year who are fucking miserable. And they don't really have an impact on the world. They're like a function box. Someone asks them to do something, they perform a task, and they get paid lots of money. I hate to sound like Edwin, but in light of the fact that, you know, we're all gonna die, it's much cooler being able to be like, yo, there are hundreds or thousands of people out there who I had a hand in helping, you know? Like, I feel like that's a cooler way to live. That's a much cooler way to live than the other way. And then plus, like all the other stuff that's on top of it, like being able to change the city, being able to bring the sport to the city, you know, being able to expose other kids outside of Benedict's to the sport and create opportunities for other families that aren't necessarily a part of our like smaller community. Being able to change the whole fucking sport altogether, have a hand in it, and like literally build up kids so that they can compete on the highest stage and win an Olympic medal, that kind of stuff. It's pretty fucking cool. On top of being able to help people in their lives. So like, you know, I'll take that.
All right, that was really good.